What I'm about to say might seem a little out of character. I'm going to say some things that seem unkind, but are truly functioning on a level of that which is trying to use its own tactics against people to get them to use their own free will to submit to, with the lower frequencies, one in a 3D world. A 5D world, somebody said, we're still here. It doesn't work that way. I'm going to explain how 5D works, but I'm going to talk today about something super important. The feminine is coming into power. By next year, you're going to see it really kick in. You're going to see the masculine, let's be really honest about this, the masculine powers are going to implode on themselves. The feminine powers will expand, but I have to share something with you that you must know about that. What it is, we talk about the meek shall inherit the earth. That doesn't mean weak. I'm going to share something pretty cool with you today. The feminine power, it's kicking in. Yeah, like the female lion, don't mess with the female lion. You ready for this? Let's go. Welcome to Landria, Onkka on YouTube, here to help you break through fears and live an amazing life. I hope you subscribe. Here's what I want to share with you. This is exactly how the universe, multiverses, and beyond work. Everything is you creating. You have free will. You are always the creator. You're always the creator. Because everything that you place your attention on, you're creating. What you believe and think, you're creating. Your stories, all of it. All of it. You created this path that you chose and are on in this matrix scenario right now. You created that. You chose it. And you get to create and change it along the way. It's a challenge. It's a free will challenge here. Nothing's in stone. That's why no one can truly predict the future. So I want you to know something, and that is that everything is all intelligence. Consciousness means awareness. It means that the unconscious part of all intelligence has no awareness of itself. As humans, we come in unconscious. Not everyone, but most people, unconscious, so that we can experience that and go into consciousness awareness. We are going further and further into consciousness. In other words, we are understanding just how expansive that is. It is actually unlimited. What is 5D? It's not a place you don't disappear. That's a human explanation. Not your fault. That's what we've been told. 5D, we're going to be off someplace. Aliens are going to come get us. We can't imagine anything beyond the physical world or the stories we've been told. 5D is just an expansion into a higher intelligence, which is limitless. It's beyond human comprehension. 5D means that you will now expand into the capabilities beyond a 3D world, like astral projection, near-death experiences, some mystical experiences through meditation, visually seeing things that are in these other dimensions that normally we wouldn't see. But we have what's called the fourth sight can occur. I had the fourth sight for quite a long period of time. That's when everything doesn't look like what you may be seeing right now. And some of you, if you've experienced this, you'll know what this means. The fourth sight is when everything is so crystal clear and you are sitting in a room aware of the other dimensions. I can't even explain it. I didn't know what it was, but I was aware of the ultimate unconditional love within the room. And I'd be sitting with people and everything was so beautiful and vivid. It was beyond this low frequency limitation. I was expanding beyond it, and this is what happens. They talk about colors that don't exist here on planet Earth. You'll see those when you go to other realms. Everything's possible. You manifest immediately. You have a 360 view. That's what you can experience here in the physical body if you expand into the 4, 5D and beyond. dimensions. They're endless. There are 5. Oh, no, now there's 10. Now there's 11. Why do we put limits? There's no limits. The one has no limits. We just the ego tries to understand and box it in and have an explanation. Read my book. Last chapter, the knowing. The knowing. You stop asking questions because you know that you can't possibly have the answers. I don't know. There are some things that I do know, however. The feminine is a higher frequency because it is more nurturing. It doesn't oppose. It values peace, and it is really the strength of the human creation, okay? So the feminine would be what we're going into because we're going into higher frequency. That means that we're going to tune into that which is more community-based than protector-based. Because we understand we protect ourselves when we go into community because everything's inclusive and loved. We're going into that now. But what I want to share with you, and this includes, and this is the part you might say, this is out of my character, but the gutless trolls on YouTube that pick on channels because they have nothing better to do, because it's easy to sit in your parents' basement and pick on people with your false picture or false name, because you are in fear, because you do not feel valued, because you don't feel like you can be anybody in this world other than the fake one that you go on in the media. And I'm here to tell you that's not true. Yes, we do refer to these people as trolls, bullies. I just tell them, go to another channel, you're in the wrong spot. But the problem with that is that they will just go to another spot. We must open up ourselves to the feminine and nurture whomever wants to receive it. If you're not going to receive it, get your butt off my channel. Now, what I want to share with you about the feminine is, if you see the feminine in species like, let's talk about the animal kingdom, the female lion, you don't mess with the female lion. The male lion doesn't even mess with the female lion. She's the one that really takes care of things. This is not the kind of meek that sits back and lets things take over. However, I just saw Israel is going to fire off a bomb. They call it tit for tat. That's the masculine that plays baby games that the ego says, you did that to me and we're going to do that to you, with no thought around the actual realization of the repercussions of that. None. We're going to fire back missiles and do what? Kill innocent people. They're not even thinking that far. It's a low-level game that they can't attach feelings to, which is on a higher frequency. We're thinking more about that kid on the playground that everybody's picking on, how we want to hug and nurture that little baby. And the others are the bullies picking on that meek little guy or girl because they're in fear. So what I want you to understand is that the ego and the 3D basement mentality is in its own fear and limitation, self-imposed, and it lives there. It's never satisfied. It gains power through control and things. All right? So we don't want to pick on that. That's not a nice place to be. They live in that spot and it's never satisfied. When you let go of those things and you go to the penthouse, you realize none of it matters. Everything is a bonus. What happens when it's a bonus? The intelligent universe that I was just talking about a moment ago gets the message that you are abundant, you have everything, and therefore you will receive everything. When you think you don't have enough, you will lose that and more. So what's the Bible say? Those who have will receive more. Those who have not will lose that which they have. The meaning of that is the message that those who believe they have not, I don't have anything, they created that lack. You might say, I didn't do that. Yeah, under some circumstances you did. You can reprogram that. And instead of saying I don't have, you can say, if this is what I want to change, then I have to go into having, feeling abundant, feeling grateful. Even if you don't have it yet, you have to shift gears into that. So then you know you have, and all of a sudden things start to show up for you because you already love what you have. You're abundant already, and so it gives you more. It doesn't judge. The intelligence of all things is just always creating, and you're the creator, and you have free will. Therefore, no one can impose financial woes on you, or lack, or bad health. No one else can impose that on you. You would have to participate in it, believe it, be tuned into it. You have to. It's impossible for any of that to happen without your participation on some level. Some's pre-planned because you chose to experience certain things. Now, if you're in a situation, somebody was saying on my channel that she lives in a tent with her cat. I said, in many ways, you're more free than everybody else. But she says, of course, she doesn't drink or do drugs or anything, and they're telling her to move around. I just want to share with you, there is a place for you. There are places for you. In fact, in my email list, there are people that take in workers who will have a place to stay and eat that's clean and beautiful. This is up in Vancouver area. If you're not in my email list, you might want to go in there and find out about these guys. That you work 5 hours a day. You can either garden or work in the kitchen or do some kind of skills. You do have to qualify, and you can stay there for months at a time. There are places for you that are safe, and you can qualify for many of them because you're not doing drugs, because you are making higher choices, and your world can turn around. There is always something for you. I want you to know this. So if anybody has suggestions for this person, please let me know. There are beautiful places out in countryside where they have almost like small communities, and they all work together. We are going into community, and we're going to start helping one another to solve these issues so that you can shift around whatever it is you're dealing with. That is the feminine, and it's coming into play. And here's what I want you to know. It doesn't happen without your participation, and that means you have to let ego go and ask yourself if you're doing this or thinking this out of ego. Ego protects itself, service to self first, and secondary to others. It feels others are threats. Even what somebody else believes feels as a threat, so as to argue, that's ego. That's separation. The feminine never argues, it nurtures. The feminine brings in everybody and finds a place. The feminine does not tolerate bad behavior, but teaches. The male, the male powers energy field just takes it out. We're just going to eliminate it. I just saw a documentary about craft that landed, I don't know, it was in the 70s down in South America. I may do a video on this. And it crashed. Many people saw it, identical stories, and there were several beings, at least one or two had survived but then ended up dying. And everybody that witnessed it or was involved was hushed. Why do we do that? That's the male part of humanity that wants to control, that feels things are threatened, that goes hunting these things down. You wonder why they don't want to mingle with us or come talk to us, because the first thing we do is we hunt them down like, angry dogs with our guns, our weapons. We wonder why they're running from us if they crash, or why some of them are in fear. Not all of them. Not all of them have our emotions. It was really sad that these creatures were being treated so horribly, like animals. And we wonder why they don't want to come here. The masculine shoots first and asks questions second. The feminine doesn't even have a weapon. We have so many ways to live an abundant, beautiful life. You have them right now, and you can live that. We're going into it. If you don't participate in it, you will continue staying in the basement. It is a choice. The free will can only happen if you participate. And I'll prove it to you that you are creating your reality. When you watch my videos, and you know, YouTube, man, they're putting way more ads in here than ever before. When you're watching my videos, those ads that come up for you don't come up for me when I'm watching videos. They only come up according to what you're viewing and participating in. And it is calculating with its AI, artificial intelligence, what you like. And it's giving you what it thinks you like according to your free will choices. The universe functions the same way. So if I'm focused on here and here, here, no matter what I say, if I'm watching murder and violence and the news and arguing, the universe gives you more of that not so artificial intelligence is giving you what you are telling it you're interested in most. What are your ads looking like? Mine are mostly business. Some of them are spiritual, mostly business. The make money ones, they're gone. They try, and then eventually they disappear because I can't wait to get rid of those. It's always positive things like, you know, maybe how to advertise your business or create courses or, you know, more creative, more technical things. What are your ads looking like? It's a reflection of what you are putting out there. If it is not the feminine, where it's more nurturing and loving and positive and creative, and it's more money-based, lower frequency-based, then you need to shift where you're placing your attention and go into the feminine. So you can watch documentaries on, you know, psychic abilities and archaeology and science and all kinds of things, and you'll watch your ads will change, and then you'll know you just shifted your reality, and that actually applies to this too. And it expands on. It's not just for YouTube. So when you go into the feminine, you're going into all-inclusive. You stop judging. You start looking at things, and you don't have to approve of them, but you don't argue with it anymore, and you become the creator of the feminine world, which is all-inclusive. You have to participate in a creative manner. This is required. So we're kicking it off more and more, but what's happening is the masculine is actually fired up, because masculine in ego is more threatened when it sees this happening, because it loses control over the free will of those of us going into the feminine life. And so it battles more. The feminine doesn't do that. You know, the feminine will put the trail of treats and nurture the little puppy who, you know, maybe is afraid of humans. But the masculine will go out and put a gun to your head and force you to come over to their camp. Do you see the difference here? So we want to operate on a level that allows others to make their own decision to come over, not manipulation. So what that media and all those things you guys are watching, I talk a lot about this, is that if the masculine puts these ads in front of me, you know, they've taken every cool song that I ever loved growing up, and they put lyrics to it for pharmaceutical companies. You can't sing the song that you loved without having that pharmaceutical company come in there. Isn't that something? And then the people on all these commercials are all overweight, but they say they're managing it, and they're all happy and dancing. Oh yeah, it's a whole musical. Conditioning, that is normal, it's acceptable. And even the tunes that I love are programming you. So they're using that to get you to free will participate in that controlled masculine world that has to do with money and nothing that's healthy for us. The other thing I want you to know is business. You can't have a plastic bottle unless A, somebody approved that it could be made, and B, somebody didn't care enough and made it. Then there's C, the person who has to purchase it. And when we stop purchasing and consuming the garbage, they'll stop making it. Why? Because they care about what they get. And if they can't get money or control or power us, they'll do something else. You are totally in control. What you consume, what you watch, everything. You're arguing, your thoughts, you are 100% in control. And that intelligence, now that if you go into consciousness, a lot of you think you're conscious and you're not, because I hear you talking, I'm going, okay, we still don't realize what we're saying here. Oh, yes, and that's, I agree, and we're going to, but they, there's no they. There's no they, right? Masculine, feminine, it's a choice, all right? It's not a separate thing, it's a choice, all right? And you have this choice, but you and it are one thing, okay? I know, don't try to sort that out. It'll drive you nuts. Read my book. That was a download. So, bullies, the feminine, the female line, don't mess with her. She will not allow it. She won't harm you. She won't put a gun to you or do anything. But she can say, not allowed on my channel. We do hold power, a lot. And you can do it in your life. Who do you hang out with? Look at your friends. Who are you hanging out with? They always say in business is a big one. What are the 5 people you hang out with? Well, I'll tell you who mine are, and you find out that they start to get sorted out, right? Eventually some go away that you loved, and something happens, and it just happens. It's not to be judged, but I look at the people I'm hanging out with right now, and they're super positive, super intelligent, just very loving, accepting people. They're active, they're successful, and I just connect with them. They're accepting, they're happy for me. Sometimes if you ever notice when you do something, you accomplish something, all of a sudden that friend that loved you, you're not cool anymore because now you've gone to a different level of achievement and they feel threatened by that. So my Pepperdine University Most Fundable Companies 2025 for digitalexplorers.net. Some people might feel threatened by that, like, oh, it was cute when you had an online business, but now who are you? Anyone you want to be. The feminine is coming in, gangbusters, but it's always a choice and you have to participate. You have to shift the attention to it, and every single thing you observe is creating. The intelligent universe only gives you what you're ordering, what you're directing it to do, just like AI and YouTube is. Don't blame it. Oh, this is out there. I'm like, how are you seeing that? I don't know, because my stuff's disappearing and YouTube can try and push it in front of me, but I have to click on it and give it attention, right, to participate. And if I don't, they're going to put something else in front of me and they're going to go, okay, we don't make money if she's not watching this stuff. And eventually it starts to recalculate. We're recalculating right now. So we talk about the big event. That is part of the big event, is the big movement, huge movement, and the acceleration of insanity of the lower frequencies to try and maintain and gain control. And all of it's the lies and the secrets, the disclosure, and they love it when we are trying to figure it out, because they're the ones planting all that stuff out there. What, you think they don't control that? Come on! The whistleblowers who may even think that they're not being controlled, that are being fed information. None of this is just, oops. It's 100% controlled, 100%. Because if it wasn't, they wouldn't be talking, right? There'd be a sniper up in a nest, camping out, taking everybody out. Yeah. Are you ready to speak up in peace? Because that's not threatening. It is the silent, meek, feminine world that is absolutely taking us to something so completely beautiful. And so that situation you're in, if you'd like to change it, those that have shall receive more. And it doesn't mean just the physical stuff. Just because, having doesn't mean, money and things. But you can have that too. But you won't care about it. It's not what holds importance, but you'll have it anyways. Beautiful things will come to you. Awards and money and people and events and situations will all flow to you that you can't even imagine that exist out there. I didn't even know about this Pepperdine University award. I didn't even know about it. They contacted me. Why? Because I'm participating out there in positive things. And apparently I was seen. I think I know what platform. It's really super positive platform of people who are growing, giving, creating. We're creating businesses that are going to change the world. Because even if they say it's okay to pollute the planet to make your stuff, I'm not going to do it. Neither are my students. We're not going to make the stuff that pollutes the planet, even if it's allowed. And so the consumer will have no choice but to make positive, higher choices with us, even if they care. They don't care. Doesn't matter. If they purchase something from us, it's going to be amazing. Products, services. We have creators creating channels out there, positive messages. So you come to us, we don't have to sell you anything. You're going to benefit from everything we give. Live your life like that. Give. If you come to me, people will know. If they come to you with their problems or whatever, you're not going to be a rug or an enabler. You're going to be a person, the feminine lion, who does what's necessary to maintain the peace. Don't go after her. So, bullies, you can do whatever you want on my channel. I control it. Go off to somebody else's event. Nobody wants to hang out with bullies. I still love you, but I'm not going to hang out with you. So, get ready for the feminine and start to live your life like that, and ask if you're going into a nurturing, inclusive, creative, peaceful, beautiful, beautiful new world. Get ready for it and observe the rest. Do not participate in it. Observe, don't entangle. You ready for this? Those of you who want to come into Digital Explorers, that's a free webinar, the 5 reasons most businesses online fail. It's easily fixable. People don't do it. Why? They're chasing money. They're down in the basement, clawing after each other, turning on each other, getting the stuff. It doesn't work. It doesn't work. It collapses. We're building positive, beautiful online business. If you're entrepreneurial and you want to do something impactful, starting with yourself. We start with this. We want you to feel really good. You should feel really good about what you're doing, going after. It's not just giving. That's an imbalance. Take this here and take it to where it should be, and that's that passionate, beautiful, purposeful place. You guys, I don't know what my purpose is. We work on that because you have one. What is it? Making higher choices. Let's start with that. You're whole and perfect, strong and powerful, loving, harmonious, and happy. Blessings to you, my friend. Namaste.